Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by my channel. Let's not forget, this is about the victims and their families because the victims, they still deserve to have a voice, and their families, they deserve justice. Everything in this video and all of my videos is for entertainment or educational purposes only and is pure speculation based on my own personal thoughts and opinions. I encourage you to do your own research and form your own conclusions.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness.
You probably have heard this, but if you haven't, just take a quick listen and we'll talk about it.
Always the same thing that disrupts my life. Wonder when I'll change. I guess when the time is right. Procrastinating, mind arranged to change would be a fight. So I'm passing fist like I'm afraid to get a bloody fist. Look at this, my mind is pissed and I keep running. Why is this? When I hit it, always lose them stunning. Always gentle giant, no defiance, all building a line. Look at this, my mind is pissed and I keep running. Why is this? When I hit it, always lose them stunning. Always gentle giant, no defiance, all building a line.
You did hear him being Bryan Kohberger, allegedly, saying, when I hit it. That sound like an insult to you, y'all? I don't think so. Because that's not how incels talk, right? I mean, they don't get any. I mean, maybe after all is said and done, maybe a rapper out there might, get with him to do some music. Don't try and, hit up Diddy or anything. Don't try and... Made a quick video for you guys to share some information that Miss Taylor confirmed in court this past week. And I think Bryan Kohberger has a pretty legit dream team. He's forensics expert who was brought in by Kohberger's defense team and allegedly hired by his parents, which I found to be interesting. Here's a bit more information from the YouTube channel 3D Forensics, and I will put the link in the bio, and I'm doing this based on fair use guidelines, and I just wanted you to hear a little bit about him and who he is, so check this out.
Matt has worked as a forensic scientist for the Washington State Patrol Crime Laboratory in Tacoma, Washington, for about 15 years prior to starting Noedel Scientific in 2005. He consults in crime scene reconstruction and analysis throughout the U.S., Canada, and even abroad in Australia. He provides training in shooting incident reconstruction in North America and abroad. And last time we spoke, he was doing quite a bit of work in Jamaica as well. He's also a distinguished member of AFTI, that's the Association of Firearms and Tool Mark Examiners, and he's the past president and past treasurer of ACER, which is the Association of Crime Scene Reconstruction. If you know Matt, he's been involved in many organizations, and he's played roles as president, treasurer, a number of different things. He's very active in the community, certified crime scene reconstructionist by the IAI, and he's also authored several papers, and he's contributed to practical crime scene analysis and reconstruction. Actually, this book here, many of you are familiar with this one. And if you just flip over to chapter 7, Matt's done some contribution there on the shooting reconstruction part. Let's see here. We worked together on some cases. I've known Matt for several years. And I think the things that strike me most about Matt and why I think he's going to be a great guest is that he's very inquisitive, and he has a passion for his discipline. And I hope that comes through in some of the talks here. So without further ado, Matt, I think you're here, and I want to say thank you very much for being here today and just to talk.
Great. Thank you, Eugene. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you today.
All right, great. Well, I guess I just want to start maybe a little bit at the beginning and maybe give some background. There's obviously going to be some professionals here, some students, different people that may want to chime in either now or even later. I'm interested in how you first got started. So I know you were at the Washington State Lab. Were you doing crime scene reconstruction right from the beginning, or did you sort of migrate over?
Um, Pretty quickly after starting with the State Patrol, I became a member of the crime scene response team as basically as a student mentor. I was mentored by the senior members of the organization. My career actually started a few years prior to that, where I was working in a private laboratory in forensic toxicology. So in the toxicology lab, we didn't do a lot of reconstruction, and we certainly were not doing shooting incident reconstruction. But I got out of that job and right into the Washington State Patrol, where I was doing chemistry and trace evidence analysis. And an opportunity came up with the crime scene response unit, and I took that responsibility on as well, and have been in that continuously ever since. So I'm about 30 years into the field of studying crime scenes and primarily shooting reconstruction and how to reconstruct events that have involved the discharge of a firearm.
Okay. And you've, I mean, obviously you went private at some point, and I'm just wondering, what was the impetus to sort of move from there to your own practice?
Well, there were a number of things going on. I had been with the Washington State Patrol for 15 years, and working as a private consultant was something that was always interesting to me. Being able to run my own business and make my own decisions. So the time seemed right when I left the State Patrol to go forward and start out on my own. I'd gained tremendous experience through my time at the Washington State Patrol, so that served me very well. Ultimately, it was a decision where I was glad to begin to run my own show and sample the water outside of the government business. Government comes with a lot of baggage, of course, so it was nice to be independent and be able to call my own shots, work my own cases, and make the decisions for myself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I totally get that.
Recreation would be a process whereby you might make a movie to try to show how something occurred. Reconstruction, in my view of thinking about it, is using the science of the physical evidence to test elements of a scene. Ultimately, you need to know what's being said about a scene, and you can use the physical evidence to then test those statements. So if a person, for example, says, I was standing at the doorway when I shot into the room, we might be able to reconstruct the path of that bullet and see, does it in fact point back supporting the witness statement or the shooter statement, or is the angle incorrect?
Does anyone think that this type of weapon pictured here was used at all? I only ask that because of this guy's obvious background, as well as the statement Kaylee's mom, Christy, made at the beginning of this, that when she was first alerted to something happening, it was that Kaylee had been pew-pewed at a party. Any thoughts on that one?
Or is the angle incorrect and the shooter is deceiving us somehow? So reconstruction is the act of using physical evidence in order to test elements of a scene.
Right.
Different than crime scene processing, which is where you gather that data for reconstruction.
You guys are probably wondering, though, what this has to do with Tupac. So basically, Mr. Noedel was one of two experts that in a Las Vegas courtroom within recent years, they were the two that conducted experiments that disproved Suge Knight being the unaliver of Tupac. And as we all know, most innocent people don't really want to be incarcerated for crimes that they did not commit. The first photo you saw of Mr. Noedel was early January, and he spent nearly 5 hours inside the 1122 King Road home conducting analysis. And he was at least seen going in and out of the home wearing proper attire for investigating a crime scene, because we all know that that has also not been done properly with this case. And according to his website, the evaluation and examination of bloodstains at crime scenes is frequently overlooked and often misunderstood. I also thought that I would share with you guys, which these have been out. I know you probably have seen them, but it just goes with the information of the 50 items that were tested, found in Kohberger's apartment in Pullman, that came back with at least trace amounts of red stuff, according to these inventory lists shown here. So I believe it was all staged, and I believe, like many of you, there were multiple crime scenes and multiple perpetrators, some of which I believe were girls, and likely both of the roommates. And I believe the cops knew exactly what was going on, and they knew from Taylor Avenue, Banfield, all the way to Linda Lane, and I believe the home was just the last part of these awful crimes that were committed. I also read on Reddit, someone was saying how they had recently been on a jury panel that Mr. Noedel testified as an expert witness for, and he or she basically was just saying how they thought Mr. Noedel was a great expert witness because of the way he was able to speak in a way that the jurers could understand properly, because a lot of what he was saying was very scientific, and also spoke about uncovering things that detectives there locally had not been able to properly uncover or handle, and he was able to do so in a way without disparaging law enforcement, which in this case, who cares? Because we all witnessed Payne and Mowry basically on the stand, either not knowing, blaming someone else, referring to someone else, basically admitting that they just have no clue. And if they have a clue, I think some of us do think they have a clue, but they're not willing to give that information up, and likely Anne will never get the discovery she's requesting. So for now, all I can do is say what I always say, and I have said since day one. It's my belief and hope that in the end, we get to watch the proper people who should never have been in a place of authority. We watch them all fall down, and I hope and do believe, and I think I'm right, that Kohberger has been working undercover as a Fed, FBI, DEA, Homeland Security, whoever investigates corruption. I believe that's exactly why Bryan Kohberger was in the area. And I hope that these people doing whatever sick, evil, satanic, awful, corrupt things, I really hope that they know the world is watching, and I hope we do get to see some form of justice when this is all over. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and please hit the like and subscribe and notification bell, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend.